Welcome everyone to Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium at Lynn Cottrell Park, home of the Nighthawks on a cool Sunday afternoon in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's been an action-packed weekend of softball here in the Gold City, and we have plenty more coming your way on Day 3 of the North Georgia Leadoff Classic. It's the North Georgia Nighthawks taking on the UNC Pembroke Braves. We are so glad to have you all with us today alongside the rest of the Nighthawk Sports Network team, Robert D. Clementi, on hand this afternoon. Yesterday, after a wild and thrilling game against Lenoir-Rhyne that saw North Georgia fall 1-2 in 10 innings, the Nighthawks got back into the win column, taking down Lake Erie 6-2 immediately after their game against Lenoir-Rhyne. While North Georgia split their two games yesterday, so did the Braves as they dropped their third game this season against Lenoir-Rhyne, but picked up their first win of the Leadoff Classic against Lake Erie in the final game last night. So we have a rematch of the opening game of the Leadoff Classic, North Georgia versus UNC Pembroke, Nighthawks versus Braves, ready for battle on the Nighthawk Sports Network. As we are already underway here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. Time for starting lineups presented by Northeast Georgia Health System. Here's who head coach Mike Davenport has etched into the starting lineup. We got Jolie Lester up to bat right now in a 1-1 count against Bullard. She fouls this one, moving it to a 1-2 count. Following Lester, it's going to be Mariah Wicker, Sophie Mooney, Mallory Parker, Georgia Blair, Katie Ward, Gracie Mixon, Mary Seal Brumby, and Riley Moody is going to round out that batting order for North Georgia this afternoon. Glenn, glad you've decided to join us today on a beautiful day here at Lynn Cottrell Park. Definitely got some better weather than we had yesterday. A little bit warmer outside. Sun is shining. About 48 degrees outside as Lester fouls this one again. So the count's going to stay at 2-2. And to start this game out, the Nighthawks are going up against Summer Bullard in the circle for UNC Pembroke. And the 2-2 pitch to Lester is going to be low for ball 3. Bullard this season has posted a 5.96 ERA. She's 1-5 on the year, and she's pitched the most innings for the Braves up to this point with 27 so far. And a swing and a miss there for Lester as Bullard's able to strike out the Nighthawks' leadoff batter. And that's going to bring up Mariah Wicker into the batter's box. Bullard this season has allowed 33 hits, 24 runs, 23 of those runs earned, and she's struck out 43 batters this season. As Mariah Wicker sees ball 1. Bullard gets the signal. Wicker showed bunt, pulled back. Sees a strike for a 1-1 count. Mariah Wicker this season, she's posted a 500 batting average. In her 20 at-bats, she has 10 hits. She's got 4 RBIs this season as well. Nobody on base right now for North Georgia as Wicker swings and misses for strike 2. And the 1-2 pitch to Mariah. She fouls this one left, so the count's going to stay at 1-2. And the Braves just played a game about 30 minutes ago against Lake Erie, won against the Storm. So they're looking to pick up another win against North Georgia today as Wicker sees ball 2. So the Braves have built up some momentum coming into this game. They also beat Lake Erie last night in the final game of Day 2 of the North Georgia Leadoff Classic, as Bullard has back-to-back strikeouts to open up this game on Lester and Wicker. And here comes the Swiss Army knife for North Georgia's Sophie Mooney, stepping up to bat for the first time this afternoon. Mooney leads the team in batting average this year, batting .467. She has 14 hits in her 30 at-bats with 8 RBIs as well. She swings at that one and misses. We mentioned this time and time again, but Sophie is one of those players that kind of does it all for North Georgia, whether she's up to bat or she's in the circle or playing first base. As she sees ball one go past her there. And Mooney's on-base percentage at .590 this season ranks 5th in the Peach Belt Conference. And that batting average of .467 ranking 8th in the PBC. It's now a 2-1 count for Mooney. Again, nobody on for North Georgia. And the 2-1 pitch. This one's going to be driven into right. And Mooney gets us going here in the top of the first as she gets the first hit of the afternoon for North Georgia on a line drive to right. And here comes Mallory Parker up to bat for North Georgia. Parker this season has posted a .393 batting average, 11 hits in her 28 at-bats. She's also got 4 RBIs as well, 2 doubles for the senior. So Parker almost posting a .400 batting average this season. 3rd on the team behind Sophie Mooney and Katie Ward, who has a .458 batting average. Parker shows bunt. Pulls back. Mooney's making a break for it to second, and that ball's going way over the head of the second baseman. So Mooney's going to go for 2, and she's going to be safe in at third. And Mooney's one of the leaders in the Peach Belt Conference in stolen bases. She actually leads the PBC with 10 this season. Make that 12 now for Mooney as she's able to make her way from first to third after that miscommunication from the Braves. And that makes things much easier now for Mallory Parker. As she's showing bunt here. You can see Coach Davenport's touching his wrist here, saying that we need to speed things up in the circle. Instituted a new pitch clock this season. So Parker's now in a 3-1 count. And the 3-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. So the count's going to run full for Parker. Georgia Blair is on deck for North Georgia. And the payoff pitch outside for ball 4. And so Parker's going to make her way to first. And that's going to put runners on the corners for Georgia Blair. Blair this season has posted a .357 batting average, 11 hits in her 28 at-bats. She's second on the team in RBIs with 11, trailing Gracie Mixon with 13. She's also the only Nighthawk so far this season to hit a home run. She has 2 this year. Had one yesterday against Lake Erie. A solo homer to left to give North Georgia their first lead of the game. So Bullard gets the signal, 1-0 pitch. It's going to be low for ball 2. Got a great crowd on hand this afternoon. Stands are packed out here at the Hill. Got some people out on the new terrace out there in left as well. 2-0 pitch to Blair upstairs. Parker's making a break for it to second, and nobody home there for the Braves. to make the play. So now Blair has 2 runners in scoring position if she's able to get something down in the outfield. And the 3-0 pitch. It's going to be inside for the strike. Katie Ward's on deck for North Georgia, who, as we mentioned, is second on the team in batting average. And the 3-1 pitch, a swing and a miss for Georgia Blair. Count's going to run full again for the Nighthawks. And the payoff pitch to Blair upstairs for ball 4. So on the top of the first, bases are loaded for North Georgia with Katie Ward up to bat. So a bit of a sticky situation here for UNC Pembroke. Loading the bases early. This will be a big out here for Bullard if she's able to get it on Ward. She pitches one right down the middle for strike 1. Katie Ward this season has 11 hits on her 24 at-bats. She's got 7 RBIs as well. And a .583 slugging percentage for the sophomore. A 1 pitch. This one's going to be grounded right back to Bullard. Throws to first to get the out. And so UNC Pembroke leaves runners stranded on all the bases. And that's going to take us to the bottom of the first, where Kinsley Brewer is going to lead things off for the Braves when we come back. We'll step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Yeah. Huh? Oh, it's okay. Well, yeah. Back with you here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium on this beautiful Sunday afternoon up in the North Georgia mountains. We are ready to get things going here in the bottom of the first, where Kinley Brewer is going to lead things off here for the Braves. And they're going to have to face off against Tybee Denton in the circle for North Georgia. And Denton's first pitch of the afternoon is going to be a strike to Brewer. And yesterday, despite falling to Lenore Ryan, Tybee Denton had a career day in the circle for North Georgia. She kept the Bears off the scoreboard until the 10th inning, and she tossed a career-high 15 strikeouts. She came into the game with 19 and almost matched that total in a single game. As we mentioned, that's a new career high for Denton as well, as she's picking up right where she left off yesterday, getting a strikeout on the leadoff batter for UNC Pembroke. And so up to bat is MJ Wilkes. And she pops this one up. And this is going over the net here and into the stands. So MJ Wilkes up to bat for UNC Pembroke. Wilkes this season has posted a .286 batting average, 10 hits on her 35 at-bats coming into today. She's got 4 RBIs as well. A home run under her belt, too. Finds herself down 0-2 to Denton. This one's going to be grounded to Ward. Throws to first, gets it there on time for out number 2. That was Moody, at shortstop, making the play. And so up comes McKenna Sibbett. Sibbett, who leads the team in batting average this season, posting a .500 average on the year. 17 hits in her 34 at-bats. Before today, she has 6 RBIs as well, which leads the team in a .618 slugging percentage. And the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be outside for a ball to make it a 1-1 count. No runners on for the Braves. 1-1 pitch. This one's going to be fouled, pushing the count to 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch, this one's going to be hit to Moody. Moody tosses to Mooney. And the Moody to Mooney connection there for out number 3, taking us to the top of the second. Still scoreless early here in this one between North Georgia and UNC Pembroke. We'll step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium, where Gracie Mixon is going to get things going here for North Georgia in the top of the second. Gracie Mixon this season has posted a .276 batting average, 8 hits on her 29 at-bats, and she leads the team in RBIs this season with 13 on the year. She's going up against Bullard, who had 2 strikeouts in that first inning on Lester and Wicker, as Mixon sees a strike here. So Bullard gets her signal. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Mixon. Again, down the middle for strike 2. And Gracie Mixon led the way for the Nighthawks in their first matchup with UNC Pembroke on Friday, going 2 for 3 at the plate with 4 RBIs, ultimately sealing the game in the 5th inning for North Georgia. So this is a rematch of the opening game of the Leadoff Classic, in which North Georgia shut out UNC Pembroke 8-0 in 5 innings. And Kristen Davis was on a mission in the circle for North Georgia, as this one's going to be driven high into left, and it's going to be caught for out number 1 by King. And Kristen Davis, in this first game of the North Georgia Leadoff Classic, gave up just 1 hit and earned 6 strikeouts on her way to the shutout for North Georgia. So now up to bat for the Nighthawks is Mary Seal Barumbi. This is her 10th at-bat of the season. She's posted a .444 batting average, going 4 for 9 at the plate for the Nighthawks. She's also got 3 RBIs as well attached to those 4 hits. This is going to be out, or inside, from Bullard to make it 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch to Brumby. This one's hit well into left, but it's going to be fouled just behind the Braves bullpen to make it a 1-2 count. And this 1-2 pitch is going to be low for ball 2, pushing it to a 2-2 count. Got Moody on deck. And this one's going to be driven into left by Brumby. She's able to get to first for North Georgia, adding their 2nd hit of the afternoon. So we'll see what Riley Moody does here for North Georgia up to bat. Riley Moody this season has posted a .400 batting average. This is her 6th appearance at the plate. She's 2 for 5 for the Nighthawks. She's got an RBI as well. As she sees ball 1 in the dirt. So just 1 out here in the top of the 2nd. A runner on first for North Georgia. And this pitch is going to be behind Moody and in the dirt, so Brumby's going to take advantage of that and get to second. Now making things a bit easier for Moody. She's able to get something down in right. And the Nighthawks could return to the top of their batting order with Jolie Lester on deck as Moody drives this one into right. And Coach Davenport's going to wave home Brumby, and she's going to get there with ease as Moody makes her way for 3, and she gets there. And North Georgia takes their first lead of the afternoon, going up 1-0 after that triple from Riley Moody. What a start here for North Georgia, getting on the board early with some Moody magic to bring up Jolie Lester back up to bat for North Georgia. And we still got just 1 out in the top of the 2nd. A runner in scoring position for Lester. As Lester sees a strike from Bullard. Lester was struck out by Bullard last time she was up to bat, looking for something different here. Takes one outside for ball 1. And the 1-1 pitch to Lester, again outside for ball 2. We saw North Georgia put up 2 runs in the 2nd inning with their first matchup against UNC Pembroke. See if they can repeat some of that success here. This one's going to be grounded and gets over the head of Bullard, which puts another run up on the board for North Georgia as Moody's able to cross home plate. That one took kind of a weird bounce over the head of Bullard, which gives North Georgia 2 runs in the 2nd, matching their total from the 2nd inning in game number 1 of the North Georgia Leadoff Classic. They posted 2 runs in the 2nd, 3 in the 4th, and 3 in the 5th to put that game away So we're starting to see a little bit of deja vu here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. So the Braves are going to talk things over here in the circle, try to get back on the same page with still one out in this second inning. Although the sides have flipped, as North Georgia is the technical visiting team in this matchup, with the Braves being the home team. And so up comes Mariah Wicker, stepping into the batter's box. Mariah was also struck out by Bullard last time she was up to bat. But so was Lester, and she was able to get a hit in this last at-bat. So we'll see what Mariah can do here. And the 1-0 pitch to Mariah. She swings hard on that one and misses to make it a 1-1 count. So we got 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. 1 runner on for North Georgia with 1-1 up to bat. Number 11, Mariah Wicker, sees the 1-1 pitch. Takes strike 2. Got Sophie Mooney on deck for North Georgia. Again, got Lester on first. Bullard gets the signal. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Another big swing, but a miss for Mariah Wicker. So that's going to give us 2 outs in the top of the second with Sophie Mooney back up to bat. Mooney had a hit in the first against Bullard. We'll see if she can go 2 for 2 today. With, again, Jolie Lester over there on first. Lester's making a break for it to second. She slides in, and she gets there on time. So a couple of stolen bases for North Georgia already in this game. Makes things easier for Mooney. She's able to poke something in the outfield. The 0-1 pitch to Mooney. Going to be outside for ball 1. So now just a runner on second for North Georgia. 2 outs. 1-1 count. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss from Mooney is going to make it a 1-2 count. Mallory Parker's on deck for North Georgia. As Bullard looks down, gets her signal. The 1-2 pitch to Mooney, just outside for ball 2. So deuces are running wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. A runner on second for North Georgia with 2-0 up to bat. And the 2-2 pitch. This one's driven well into left. And that's going to be getting down for North Georgia as Mooney adds to the scoreboard here, making it a 3-0 game in the second inning. That one looked like it was going to be caught behind the light post here. Ends up getting down, and Nighthawks are going to take all of that. Early 3-0 lead for North Georgia with Mallory Parker back up to bat. Parker was walked on her last plate appearance. And there's something about these 2-out rallies for North Georgia that they just thrive on. We've seen them do a lot of that this weekend, putting some runs up on the board, down 2. So we got a repeat situation for Parker. She's got a runner on second, 2 outs. She fouls this one. We can already see some action going on in UNC Pembroke's bullpen. As Katie Neal is getting warmed up over there. So it'll be interesting to see how long Bullard is able to stay in this game. And she was off to a great start in the first. Had 2 strikeouts on Lester and Wicker. She's let up 3 runs here in the top of the second. As Parker sees ball 3 go past her. Parker pulls back. Sees strike 2. Count runs full again for Mallory Parker. Got Georgia Blair on deck. And the payoff pitch. This one's going to be fouled near Bob Stein Stadium. So Mallory's going to have another crack at it here. This has been quite the long half inning here for UNC Pembroke. As we've already seen a number of batters here for North Georgia. And another payoff pitch, again, fouled. So Parker's going to get another opportunity here. Battling here with Bullard. And another full count pitch. This one's driven into left, and it's going to get down for Parker as she keeps one in play, and Mooney's going to cross home plate. Parker's making her way for 3. She's going to make her way home, and this is going to be inside the park home run for Parker. What a play by the senior. She was able to get one down and left, and she decided to just go for it. And it pays off for North Georgia. An inside the park home run for Mallory Parker. Nighthawks are pouring it on here in the top of the second, up 5-0. Again, something about these 2-out rallies. It's like North Georgia just thrives under pressure. Down 2 outs. So here comes Georgia Blair. We'll see what she can do up to bat here for the Nighthawks with 2 outs. No runners on for North Georgia. As she takes strike 1 from Bullard. Blair was walked last time she was up to bat. And the 0-1 pitch to Blair is going to be low for ball 1. And what a start this is for North Georgia. 5 runs in the inning. The most they've posted in any inning here at the North Georgia Leadoff Classic. 1-1 pitch to Blair. It's going to be in the dirt for ball 2. This is actually the 4th consecutive game that UNC Pembroke has played at the UNG Leadoff Classic. So may see some exhaustion on display from the Braves. Can't blame them, though. 4 consecutive games is definitely tolling. They played the final 2 games yesterday against Lenore-Ryan and Lake Erie. And this is their 2nd game of the day, as we mentioned earlier, coming off another matchup against Lake Erie this morning, a game in which they won. So a tough task here for UNC Pembroke as Blair grounds this one into center, and the Nighthawks continue to roll here in the top of the second as they now have their 6th hit already, up 5-0 with Katie Ward up to bat. Katie Ward grounded out last time she was in this position. As Ward takes a strike right down the middle from Bullard. Bullard, a sophomore out of Pembroke, North Carolina, graduated from Purnell Sweat High School. Throws strike 2 to Ward. As we mentioned earlier, she has the most experience this season on this UNC Pembroke squad. 0-2 pitch to Ward, a swing and a miss as Bullard gets the strikeout, but that's going to take us to the bottom of the second. North Georgia pouring it on, up 5-0 early over the Braves. We'll see how UNC Pembroke responds when we come back. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Northeast Georgia Health System is a proud supporter of North Georgia Nighthawk Athletics.
Back with you here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium as we head to the bottom of the second inning in this matchup between North Georgia and UNC Pembroke. And the Nighthawks take an early, dominating 5-0 lead over the Braves in this one, highlighted by an inside-the-park home run by Mallory Parker to score herself and Mooney, as this one's driven well into left, and that's going to get over. So what an answer here from UNC Pembroke. A solo shot to left field by Jay Deese. So off the first pitch of the bottom of the second from Denton, Deese goes the distance and makes this a more manageable 5-1 game. So up comes Chloe Locklear up to bat for UNC Pembroke. Trying to follow up that great start there from Deese. First pitch she sees from North Georgia. Decides to swing and goes out to the 2:05 marker. So we'll see how Locklear responds. That's actually the first home run that Tybee Denton has led up all season long. So now with Chloe Locklear up to bat, who's been batting .265 this season, 9 hits in her 34 at-bats, 2 RBIs, and a home run as well. And she takes strike 3. So nice rebound there from Denton to get the strikeout. Her third of the afternoon. It's going to bring Eckhart up to bat. Emma Eckhart this season posted a .233 batting average. 7 hits in her 30 at-bats, 2 RBIs, and a home run for her as well. Takes ball 1 from Denton. As we mentioned right before that commercial break, this is UNC Pembroke's 4th game in a row. They played the final 2 games of yesterday's schedule of the North Georgia Leadoff Classic, and they played the opening 2 games here. And the 1-1 pitch from Denton, this one's going to be fouled for strike 2. Mackenzie Collins is on deck for UNC Pembroke. And the 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss as Denton picks up strikeout number 4. So up comes Mackenzie Collins, who this season has posted a .261 batting average, 6 hits, and in her 24 at-bats. She's got 3 RBIs this season to go along with that. 2 outs in the top of the third, nobody on for the Braves. And she sees strike 2 as Denton's able to paint that top right corner of the zone. And the 0-2 pitch. And this is going to go down as out number 3 on that swing there. Gets it to first on time, taking us to the bottom of the third. We'll see if North Georgia can extend that lead when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here.
I'm here.
That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatment protocols are saving more hearts than anywhere else in the state. That's why we're here.
I'm here.
So you'll always be there. The future of heart care, we're leading Georgia there. Georgia Heart Institute.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Back with you here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. In the top of the third, North Georgia leads this one over UNC Pembroke 5-1, with Gracie Mixon leading things off here for North Georgia in the top of the third. She fouls this one off of Bullard to make it an 0-1 count. Nighthawks were on fire in the second, posting 5 runs in that inning. But the Braves responded with a solo shot to left from Deese on her first pitch that she saw from Denton. But after that, Nighthawks were able to keep the Braves off the board. So it's a 5-1 lead for North Georgia. And the 0-2 pitch, it's going to be outside for ball 1. Bullard gets the signal, 1-2 pitch. Mixon fouls this one, so she's going to have another crack at it here. We've got a rather quiet day for Peach Belt Conference softball compared to yesterday. That saw 16 games with PBC teams play out. Today we have just 4 on the schedule, 2 of which are North Georgia's final games here at the Leadoff Classic, as Mixon gets this one over the head of Bullard and into center field for hit number 8 in this game. Makes her way to first with Mary Seal Brumby back up to bat. And those other 2 games on the schedule for the PBC are going to be USC Beaufort taking on West Liberty and Mount Olive. So only North Georgia and USC Beaufort, the only 2 PBC teams in action today. It's a 1-0 count for Mary Seal Brumby, who had a hit last time she was up to bat. She's serving as the Nighthawks designated hitter today as she gets another one to go in center field. So Brumby 2 for 2 on the day for number 22. Gets hit number 9 for North Georgia. Bringing Moody back up to bat who is 1 for 1 this afternoon, had an RBI as well to send Jolie Lester home. So the Nighthawks in a good position here with runners on first and second, no outs in the top of the third. Moody sees strike one go past her there from Bullard. And the 0-1 pitch. Moody grounds this one, gets it to the second baseman, flips to second to get it there on time. So that's going to be out number one in the top of the third. That's going to put runners on the corners for North Georgia with Jolie Lester back up to bat. Lester had a hit for North Georgia last time she was in the batter's box. We'll see what she can do here with runners on first and third. Takes a strike, and Moody's making her way to second. She'll slide in. So now North Georgia has two runners in scoring position with Moody on second and Mixon over there in familiar territory at third. Just one out. 0-1 pitch to Lester. She grounds this one up the left field line, and it's going to stay in play. Coach Davenport's waving them home, and a couple more RBIs on the board for Jolie Lester. It's a Nighthawk onslaught here early, up 7-1 and 10 hits. We are just in the top of the third. North Georgia continuing to build off that success they saw in the top of the second. And it looks like this is going to be the end of the afternoon for Bullard. So Bullard's going to finish up this afternoon, allowing 10 hits and 7 runs for North Georgia with 4 strikeouts and walking 2 batters. And so now in the circle for UNC Pembroke is going to be Katie Neal, who we mentioned earlier was getting warmed up in the bullpen for the Braves. Neal this season is 1-0. She's posted a 4.06 ERA, pitched just over 10 innings for the Braves, allowing 7 hits and 9 runs. 6 of those runs have been earned, and she's walked 12 batters, struck out 9 of them. She's held opponents to a 184 batting average. So we'll see what Neal can do here for the Braves as they've got a hole to climb out of, down 7-1. Neal, a lefty freshman out of Anderson Creek, North Carolina, graduated from Western Harnett High School. We'll try to get the Braves out of this situation. And she's going to have to face off against Mariah Wicker in her first matchup of the afternoon. Mariah is 0 for 2 today, still looking for her first hit this afternoon. She's got a runner on second in Jolie Lester. And the first pitch of the afternoon from Neal is going to be a strike to Mariah. Just 1 out. 1 runner on for North Georgia. And the 0-1 pitch to Mariah. Tries to bunt here, but it's going to be tipped and fouled, pushing this thing to an 0-2 count. Sophie Mooney is on deck for North Georgia. This is going to be ball 1 to Mariah. As Neal gets her signal. And the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. So Mariah is 0 for 3 on the day. Trying to get something going on her next plate appearance. But here comes Sophie Mooney back up to bat for North Georgia. And Mooney's a perfect 2 for 2 on the day. She has an RBI as well. Takes one in the dirt from Neal for ball 1. Still got Jolie Lesser over there on second. And the 1-0 pitch to Mooney outside for ball 2. And North Georgia has a big rematch with Lenore Ryan coming up later today in the final game of the UNG Leadoff Classic. It was a battle between Tybee Denton and Lauren Rakes, who were spectacular in the circle for both squads. So it'll be interesting to see who gets to start today in the circle, with first pitch scheduled for 4 p.m. Denton, of course, starting this game for North Georgia. So we may see Kristen Davis in action for the Nighthawks in that matchup against Lenore Ryan. This one's going to be hit to right and fouled into North Georgia's bullpen. Bounces over, actually, and goes into the street behind us here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. So it's a 3-1 count for Mooney. Mallory Parker is on deck. And the 3-1 pitch. Down the middle for strike 2. Count runs full for Mooney. And the payoff pitch. Outside for ball number 4. And that's going to put runners on first and second for Mallory Parker, who had an inside the park home run last time she was up to bat. And that inside the park home run sent Sophie Mooney home as well, who she's got on first right now. As Parker fouls this one to make it an 0-1 count. As we mentioned yesterday, Parker missed a majority of last season for North Georgia due to an injury. So it's great to see her back into the starting lineup for North Georgia, doing her thing. And it's great to see. I'm sure Coach Davenport's very glad to have her back into the starting lineup. She's picking up right where she left off 2 years ago, back in 2022 for North Georgia. A staple on this Nighthawk squad. 0-1 pitch to Parker is going to be upstairs for a ball. Got Georgia Blair on deck, another staple in this North Georgia lineup. Parker shows bunt, pulls it back. She's going to take ball 2. So it's a 2-1 count for Mallory Parker. 2 runners on for North Georgia with 2 outs in the third. And the 2-1 pitch. This one's going to be driven over to the first baseman, and that's going to take us to the bottom of the third as the Braves get out number 3. As they were able to tag out at first there with Rose. We'll see how the Braves respond once we come back. You're watching North Georgia Softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good. Others are great. Find your greatness.
Back with you here at the Hill, where it's a 7-1 ball game between the Nighthawks and the Braves. Here in the bottom of the third, Braves are trying to get something going here with Charlotte Rose up to bat for UNC Pembroke as she tips this one fouled. So it's going to be a 1-2 count for Rose. Leading things off here for the Braves, Rose, a freshman out of Clayton, North Carolina, graduated from Clayton High School. Rose, one of those utility players for the Braves, done some pitching as well. She's posted an 8.75 ERA when she's been in the circle. Pitched just 4 innings for UNC Pembroke this season. Tips this one fouled, so the count's going to stay at 1-2. Caitlin King is on deck for UNC Pembroke. The 1-2 pitch from Denton. A swing and a miss as Denton's picking up right where she left off yesterday with strikeout number 5 this afternoon. So up to bat comes Caitlin King. This season has 2 hits in her 25 at-bats coming into today. As she swings and misses to make it an 0-1 count. Yesterday, over to the left of us at Bob Stein Stadium, UNG Baseball clinched the series win over the 13th ranked team in the nation, Quincy, with a 7-4 W. North Georgia was led offensively by Noah Darden, going 3 for 4 at the plate with a double. And Darden could be well on his way to securing his 3rd straight PBC Freshman of the Week award. And the Nighthawks are looking to secure the sweep over Quincy right now over at the Steiner. So we've got plenty of action going on here at Lynn Cottrell Park between Bob Stein Stadium and Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. As Denton gets back-to-back strikeouts on the Braves. And UNC Pembroke's going to return to the top of their batting order with Brewer. And North Georgia baseball right now in the top of the 7th is up 9-1 over Quincy. As we mentioned, looking for the series sweep over the 13th ranked team in the nation. And if they're able to do so, would not be surprised if North Georgia baseball, at the very least, receives some votes to be ranked in the top 25 in the nation. They only have 1 loss this season, coming against Mars Hill a couple of weeks ago. The 1-1 pitch to Brewer. This one's going to be tipped and fouled. Make it a 1-2 count. Brewer was struck out by Denton last time she was up to bat. And the 1-2 pitch. Another swing and a miss. Denton dealing here in the 3rd. 3 straight strikeouts is going to take us to the 4th. We'll see how North Georgia responds once we come back. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Back with you here at the Hill. Georgia Blair is going to lead things off here for North Georgia in the top of the fourth. Nighthawks still up 7-1 in this game after holding the Braves scoreless in the bottom of the third. And Georgia Blair is 1 for 1 today. She was walked on her first plate appearance and then had a hit in her second. And so far, this game has been all North Georgia, putting up 5 runs in the second and 2 in the third after being held scoreless in the first. In that last inning, UNC Pembroke, as we mentioned, made a substitution in the circle with Katie Neal now pitching for the Braves. So it's a 3-0 count for Georgia Blair. And the Braves, they played their best game of the weekend up to this point yesterday in a 4-2 win over Lake Erie. And McKenna Sibbett and Kinley Brewer had great games at the plate as Sibbett went 2 for 3 and Brewer went 2 for 4 with an RBI in the second inning. But they are coming off of a 9-inning game against Lake Erie right before this one as Blair fouls this one over the Nighthawks bullpen. We saw North Georgia in a similar situation to the Braves yesterday after they went 10 innings against Lenore-Rhine, then immediately had to follow that up with a game against Lake Erie. They were able to come away with a 6-2 win over the Storm yesterday, but fell to Lenore-Rhine 2-1 in 10 innings. As Georgia Blair swings and misses, as Neal picks up her first strikeout this afternoon. So up comes Katie Ward. That's actually Neal's third strikeout of the afternoon, pardon me. Up comes Katie Ward. Still searching for that first hit today. As we mentioned, Ward second on the team in batting average, posting a .558 this season. Expect to see a lot of Katie Ward in the starting lineup for North Georgia as she hits this one to the second baseman. Throw to first, gets there on time. So Sibbett makes the throw over to first, gets it to Rose for out number 2. So here's Gracie Mixon back up to bat for North Georgia. Mixon is 1 for 2 today. She had a run when she was on base as well. As she sees a strike right down the middle from Neal to make it an 0-1 count. Mixon, as we mentioned earlier, saw the most success against UNC Pembroke on day 1 of the UNG Leadoff Classic, going 2 for 3 at the plate against the Braves with 4 RBIs as she hits this one right to Sibbett, and it gets past her into right. And so Mixon is going to get on first. And up comes Mary Seal Brumby. And this Nighthawk dugout, is fired up. With Brumby up to bat, who's 2 for 2 today. Takes one upstairs for a ball. Brumby, a sophomore out of Cedartown, Georgia. And the 1-0 pitch. Outside for ball 2. And history will tell you that this matchup has favored North Georgia after dropping their first matchup to the Braves on March 25th, 2006. North Georgia is 34-3 all-time against the Braves, having won 31 straight against them. As Brumby hits one right back to the pitcher, but it gets to first for out number 3. So that's going to take us to the bottom of the 4th. North Georgia still up 7-1 in this game. We'll step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
My name is Lana Titarina, and UNG is where I lead. I chose UNG because of the tennis program and how much the tennis program has achieved in the past. And I wanted to be a part of building a good team. But also the campus is very beautiful, the location. It has the new business building that I really like. And when I did my research, I really liked Dahlonega in Georgia. So one of the biggest challenges that I faced was coming here and not knowing anyone. I didn't know how the culture was and how to really approach people. And being new and not knowing anyone can be tough in the beginning. So you have to really put yourself out there and make connections, talk to people. So that's where I feel like I've grown a lot, and I've gotten to know a lot of people here, and that has helped my experience. My advice for international students would be...
Welcome back to the Hill on this beautiful Sunday afternoon in the Gold City, as we are underway in the bottom of the 4th with Wilkes back up to bat for UNC Pembroke. Braves still down 6 runs to North Georgia. Looking for hit number 2 here with MJ Wilkes. A swing and a miss. Wilkes grounded out last time she was up to bat. Looking for something different here. Wilkes, a junior out of Pembroke, North Carolina, sends this one into left field and fouled. Lester tried to track it down. It's going to be an 0-2 count for Wilkes. UNC Pembroke coming over from the Conference Carolinas, looking to get back to the conference tournament after falling to King in an elimination game. The Braves are new members to the Conference Carolinas, transferring over from the Peach Belt Conference 2 seasons ago. So what was once an in-conference matchup for these two teams is now out of conference. So they don't see each other quite as often as they used to. Denton gets the signal. 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Tybee Denton. Picking up right where she left off yesterday. Her 8th this afternoon. She's allowed just 1 hit in this game as well. That 1 hit coming from Jay Deese. Here's McKenna Sibbett back up to bat. She drives this one into left, and it's going to be caught for out number 2 by Jolie Lester. And so that is going to bring up Deese, who, as we just mentioned, has the lone hit for the Braves in this one. It was actually a solo shot to left field off the first pitch she saw from Tybee. She continues to stay aggressive here. Swings on that one, but misses. Makes it an 0-1 count. No runners on for UNC Pembroke. And the 0-1 pitch. This one's going to be driven up the left field line to Mixon. Mixon tosses it to first. Easy out there for the Braves. Giving us out number 2. And bringing up Chloe Locklear. who was struck out by Tybee. Or pardon me, that was a foul ball going up the left field line. So Deese is going to get another crack at it here. Locklear's on deck. And the 0-2 pitch, this one's fouled. And so Deese is going to get another crack at it here. That one looked like it almost stayed fair, that previous hit from Deese up the left field line. That one, I guess, was just fouled. So it's an 0-2 count for Deese. And the 0-2 pitch. This one stays fair up the left field line. And now North Georgia gets out number 3 on that connection between Mixon and Mooney, taking us to the top of the 5th. We'll step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I'm Wyatt Nicholson, and UNG is where I lead. Moving from Fort Worth, Texas, here to Blue Ridge, Georgia, I got to be completely honest, it was pretty terrifying. Just because knowing that I'm starting basically fresh, it was just a sure set thing in my mind, and just, I wanted to make new friends. I wanted to have a good community here. I have some friends that go to Texas A&M, which was in my mind about going to, and they don't even know their professors' names most of the time. And so I just think here, I have a relationship with most of my professors, and they care about me, they care about my success, and that just means so much to me. And that was what drew me to the Blue Ridge campus and to University of North Georgia. Actually, initially I wasn't going to be a part of the Scholars Program. I just kind of wanted to be, I guess you could say in normal classes. But whenever Professor Price, he's our political science professor here on the Blue Ridge campus, he'd reached out to me and he kind of let me know that coming from out of state, it would be a great way to meet new people through the Scholars Program. And so I signed up for it, basically for that, so that way I could have, new friends and just have a great community to surround myself with. But upon actually getting involved with the Scholars Program, it's actually done so much more for me than just.
Back with you here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. North Georgia still up 7-1 over UNC Pembroke. And Riley Moody's going to lead things off here in the top of the 5th for North Georgia. Moody's 1 for 2 today. That one hit had an RBI attached to it. She has 2 runs scored while she's been on base as well. Braves still rolling with Neal in the circle. Held North Georgia scoreless in the 4th. So it's a 2-0 count for Moody. Moody, a freshman out of Anderson Creek, North Carolina. 2-0 pitch, upstairs for ball 3. Wouldn't be surprised to see Moody not swing on this next pitch. And North Georgia's leadoff batter, Jolie Lester, is on deck. And the 3-0 pitch. This is going to be down the middle for strike 1 from Neal. And the 3-1 pitch. This one's going to stay fair. Back to Neal. Neal tosses it to first for the easy out. Or she's going to be safe. Moody showing off the wheels there. Off that casual toss to first from Neal. And that was a 50-50 call, but Moody was able to get on first. So with no outs in the top of the 5th, Jolie Lester's back up to bat for North Georgia. And Lester's 2 for 3 today with 3 RBIs already in this game. As she hits this one into left, and Lester continues to stay red hot here for North Georgia. 3 for 4 at the plate for the junior Jolie Lester. So on her first pitch that she sees, decides to go for it, pays off, grounds one into left. And up comes Mariah Wicker up to bat for North Georgia. Wicker still looking for that first hit this afternoon. 0 for 3 at the plate. She's been struck out all 3 times she's been up to bat. Looking to come alive here as she shows bunt, but it's going to be fouled. So it's going to be an 0-1 count for Mariah Wicker. Wicker, a senior out of Buford, Georgia, graduated from Buford High School, has always been a fan favorite here at UNG. And the 0-1 pitch. Wicker bunts here, keeps it in play. Throw to first. Is not going to get there on time. Mariah Wicker comes alive here in the 5th and loads the bases for Sophie Mooney. So a great play there by Mariah Wicker, and the speedster shows off her wheels, getting to first. And so with no outs in the top of the 5th, bases are loaded for North Georgia with Mooney up to bat, North Georgia's leader in batting average. Sees a ball there. So it's a 1-0 count for Mooney. With Moody on third, Lester on second, and Mariah on first. This is going to be in the dirt, and so Moody's going to slide in and put another run up on the board for North Georgia, making this an 8-1 game. So now runners just on second and third for North Georgia, as Lester and Wicker were able to advance off that wild pitch from Neal. And the 2-0 pitch to Mooney outside for ball 3. Another one of those would load the bases yet again for Mallory Parker, who already has a home run in this game, an inside the park home run. Mooney takes strike 1 from Neal. Mooney's also a perfect 2 for 2 on the day. She's got an RBI as well. And the 3-1 pitch to Mooney as she grounds this one into right. Here come the Hawks as Lester gets home and Mariah gets home for North Georgia. Mooney is a perfect 3 for 3 this afternoon and scores 2 more runs for North Georgia. And it is a 10-1 game here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill. Nighthawks have posted 3 runs here in the top of the 5th. We'll see what Mallory Parker can do here for North Georgia, as she's 1 for 2 today. But as we mentioned, that one hit was an inside the park home run that hit that 210 marker. Still no outs in the top of the 5th either for North Georgia. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner on first for Mooney. And that's going to be Caroline Branch out there on first now for North Georgia. Caroline Branch, a sophomore out of Bogart, Georgia, graduated from North Oconee High School. It's going to be pinch running for the Nighthawks. So up comes Mallory Parker into the batter's box for North Georgia. Nighthawks with 14 hits in this game, up 10-1. As Parker sees ball 1. And these 10 runs from North Georgia are the third most that they've posted in a game so far this season. They posted 11 runs 3 times already this year, coming against Spring Hill, West Alabama, and Emmanuel. And in their season opener, they won 12-0 in 5 innings in a shutout against West Florida in Game 1 of the Gulf Shores Invitational back on February 2nd. 1-1 pitch to Parker. Pops this one up keeps it in the infield, and that's going to be out number 1 in the top of the 5th. Going to keep Branch on first with Georgia Blair back up to bat for North Georgia. Blair's 1 for 2 today. And the leader in RBIs on this North Georgia squad. It's actually going to be Chloe Poss stepping on in place for Georgia Blair up to bat for North Georgia. Chloe Poss this season posted a .250 batting average, 1 for 4 at the plate. She's got 3 RBIs off that 1 hit as well. As she sees a ball there. Chloe Poss, a sophomore out of Thompson, Georgia. Was last at Briarwood Academy. And she's going to be hit by pitch here from Neal. So that's going to put runners on first and second. So Poss unable to get her second hit here for North Georgia. And that's going to bring up Tegan Laval Massonet up to bat for North Georgia. Tegan Laveo Masonette. The freshman out of McDonough, Georgia, graduated from Locust Grove High School. She's a strike go by her there from Neal. Tegan this season has posted a .300 batting average. She's 3 for 10 at the plate. 5 RBIs for the freshman as well. She grounds this one up the left field line. The tag is made on third base by Eckhart for out number 2. And so runners are going to be on first and second for Sarah York, who's up to bat now for North Georgia. Sarah York, the sophomore, now filling in to the batting order for North Georgia. The sophomore out of Martin, Georgia. So she's seen some action here in the final day of the North Georgia Lead-Off Classic. With runners on first and second for North Georgia. And the first pitch that she sees this afternoon is going to be a ball from Neal. And this is York's second appearance this season for the Nighthawks. Last appeared against West Florida in North Georgia's season opener. And she's still looking for her first hit of the season. It's a 2-0 count for Sarah York. And the 2-0 pitch from Neal. It's going to be down the middle for a strike. The Nighthawks have played in a lot of games here at Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium to open the season, and that's going to continue for the rest of the month. North Georgia doesn't have to leave Dahlonega for a game until March 2nd for a PBC series against USC Aiken, as York swings hard on that one and misses. So deuces are running wild here at the Hill. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, 2 runners on for North Georgia. And the 2-2 pitch. Outside. And the count runs full for Sarah York. Could potentially load the bases here for North Georgia. Big pitch coming up here for Neal. And the 2-2 pitch. A swing and a miss as Neal gets the strikeout on York which is going to take us to the bottom of the fifth. North Georgia up 10-1 in this one. We'll see what the Braves can do once we come back. You're watching North Georgia softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here in the bottom of the fifth inning in this matchup between the Nighthawks and the Braves on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia up big 10-1 over UNC Pembroke as they try to mount a comeback here in the bottom of the fifth. And Tybee Denton and the Nighthawks could potentially close things out here in the bottom of the fifth. Chloe Locklear is going to lead things off for the Braves. Braves still looking for that second hit here in this one. Their only hit today coming off a solo home run from Deese as Denton pitches strike one to Locklear. Locklear, a redshirt freshman out of Pembroke, North Carolina, as she fouls this one near Bob Stein Stadium. Speaking of the Steiner, North Georgia baseball up 13-4 over the 13th ranked team in the nation, Quincy. That game in the top of the eighth as the Nighthawks look for the sweep over the 13th ranked team in the nation. As this pitch from Denton is going to be upstairs to make it a 1-2 count for Locklear. And the 1-2 pitch. This one's going to be grounded to Moody. Moody throws to Brumby at first to get out number one in the bottom of the fifth. So back up to bat comes Emma Eckhart. The third baseman was struck out by Denton last time she was up to bat. And this is going to be down the middle from Denton for a strike, 0-1 count for Eckhart. Eckhart has a .233 batting average this season. Takes ball one from Denton. And Denton has put together back-to-back spectacular games for North Georgia. Game's not over yet, but so far she's posted 8 strikeouts in this one, with 23 in her past 2 games, if you include the matchup against Lenore Ryan yesterday. So it's a 1-2 count for Eckhart. As we mentioned earlier, North Georgia's got a big matchup against Lenore Ryan set for later today in the final matchup of the North Georgia Leadoff Classic as the Nighthawks try to get their revenge on the Bears. And Lenore Ryan is trying to come to Dahlonega to take down North Georgia twice, something that hasn't been done this season and something that hasn't been done since Columbus State did it last year. And Denton throws strike 3 for strikeout number 9 And now the Braves are down to their final out here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll see if Bullard could keep this thing alive for UNC Pembroke. And it looks like they're going to make a substitution here for the Braves. And it's going to be Bullard up to bat. But if Bullard's able to get on base, Charlotte Rose will follow her up, who's on deck. Bullard, as we mentioned, one of those utility players for the Braves. Does some pitching and some batting. It's an 0-1 count for Bullard. Here comes the pitch. This one's going to be popped up. And it's going into the stands here. It actually hits the top of the press box to make this an 0-2 count for Bullard. As Denton gets her signal, here comes the 0-2 pitch. This one's going to be fouled, going over the net, and that one finds its way into the Steiner. So the count's going to stay at 0-2. No runners on for the Braves. 0-2 pitch from Denton. A swing and a miss as Denton picks up strikeout number 10 to end this one in 5. North Georgia with a 10-1 victory over the Braves here in this one to pick up win number 10 this year. And the Braves finish their time at the UNG Leadoff Classic. And a big rematch between Lenoir-Rhyne and North Georgia is on the horizon for the Nighthawks to finish off the weekend. Hopefully we'll see more of the same from North Georgia in that game against Lenoir-Rhyne that we saw in this game in a dominant 10-1 win. We'll be back with you around 4 p.m. today for the final game of the Leadoff Classic between North Georgia and Lenoir-Rhyne with Devin Kupka on the call for that matchup. On behalf of the rest of our talented Nighthawk Sports Network crew, this is Robert D. Clementi saying thanks so much for watching. Until next time, so long, have a great weekend, and we will see you all very soon.